Is this just a ruse to waste my time?
No at all. So what you got left to do?
I just told you about this. Fuck off, stop wasting my time! The year is 2006. The month, December. Australia mourns the loss of Steve Irwin. Saddam Hussein is executed. Stadium Arcadium by the Chili Peppers has been redefining teenage Lockie's relationship with music, and most importantly of all, White Dwarf, the spear tip of Games Workshop's marketing machine, is at its zenith. It is a magazine full of hobby heart and wargaming soul. Splashed across its pages is a myriad of enriching content, but in issue 324 is an article that changed my relationship to Warhammer forever: the Tandaris outbreak.
Mine is the will of the dark gods.
A narrative campaign for the 4th edition Cities of Death supplement saw the mighty forces of the 41st Vostroyan Regiment face off against the Nurgle hordes of the Lost and the Damned, a ramshackle bunch of traitors and mutants using rules so insane they were almost homebrew. The bravery of the Vostroyan Imperial Guard, beset on all sides by the horrors of chaos, made for an incredibly compelling narrative, and it awoke inside me a desire for my dice rolling to have a broader context, for my games of Warhammer 40,000 to be driven by story, by tales of heroism and tragedy, and not simply who can alpha strike their opponent off the board. Teenage Lockie knew at once that he had to start an army inspired by this incredible story, and if possible, recreate it. But although his heart longed for the Vostroyan Firstborn, their all-metal price tag drove him instead to the arms of chaos. Many years have since passed, and my Lost and the Damned are now lost to the sands of time, but my yearning to rally the sons of Vostria in defense of Tandaris remains. When the metal models went out of production a few years back, I spent big and scored about 50 of their number, purchasing the exact configurations needed to run the narrative campaign I had been so taken by in my youth. But after initially painting a test unit and realizing just how big of a job a whole army of these guys was, they were pushed to the side and buried deep within my pile of shame. But then a smouldering ember was rekindled, and the flames of hobby motivation were ablaze once more.
Howdy guys, it's Luke at Geek Gaming Scenics.
My mate Luke from Geek Gaming has just started work on his own childhood army, another all-metal Astra Militarum regiment, the Praetorian Guard. His hobby vlog on developing his paint scheme and kit bashing his tanks got me so inspired, I knew I had to ride the wave of motivation while it lasted, but with my schedule absolutely smashed by other projects for Zorpazorp, we had to act fast. So I threw down the gauntlet, a little friendly competition to keep us motivated and keep us honest. We would each have 24 hours in two 12-hour blocks to paint as many metal Imperial Guard as possible. Whoever finished the most would win bragging rights and the title of Speed Painting King. Luke's models are definitely easier to paint, and he's an ex-commissioned painter, so to even the odds, I picked the times, giving myself the day shift and relegating his UK time zone to the early hours of the morning. Before the big day, I made sure to fully clean and assemble the models, giving them each a scrub in warm water to remove any mold release and priming them in a flat grey using the metal primer from Tamiya. I then made a plan. This was absolutely key. I cannot afford to have any seconds wasted umming and ahhing over my scheme choices. I'd already got my 5 test models done, so I went through my painting journal and wrote down the whole process in a step-by-step guide. Staring down the barrel of nearly 45 Vostroyans, I decided to break them up into 2 groups, a big block of 24 generic infantry, and then my command squads and heavy weapons teams. Hopefully I could get each block done in 2 12-hour sessions. These are my absolute dream models, and I won't be taking many shortcuts when it comes to color schemes. You won't see many contrast paints here, and most areas of the model have multiple blended highlights. Add that to the insane level of detail and I'm already fighting an uphill battle. But if I paint smart and not hard, and only be neat where I need to be neat, I should have a chance at finishing an incredible personal hobby feat and smashing Luke in the process. Let the battle begin. So it's nearly 7 AM, everything's primed, everything should be ready to go. I've got my fuel, I've got my drinks. I think let's call Luke and see if he's still awake. Good morning.
You alright, man? Are you alright? Good morning.
How you feeling, Mr. 10 PM?
I'm already on fuel. All my models are ready. How many models have you got to do?
So I've got 2 squads of infantry, some specialists, the command squads. I'm looking at nearly 40 or 45 or something.
It's about the same for me. My first stretch, the first 12 hours, I'm going to try and do 30 guard. If I get them done, and I don't fall asleep, I'll see if I can get all the weapons teams done.
Yeah, no.
But trying to get more than one model an hour done sounds crazy.
I don't know if I'm going to try batch the whole lot or work squad by squad to keep myself sane. I know it will be smarter if I batch every step on every model, but I think I might go crazy. So I think small, achievable little milestones is going to help my sanity through the next 24-hour painting period.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go back to Luke's APS days, and I'm going to literally go, right, all the red.
Yeah.
7:15, 10:15. So we'll get drinks and we'll get cracking. I'll ring you in about an hour once I've finished.
Sick. Let's go.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Catch you in a bit.
The first layer I'm going to hit is the largest and easiest to reach, the red cloth. I'm striking the perfect balance of speed and quality of finish with this pass by putting down a base coat of Vallejo Scarlet Red and then wet blending midtones and highlights straight onto the raised folds with gory and bloody red. This creates a stunning, subtle gradient across the fabric, and as I do this all in one pass, the fabric on each model is finished once I set it back down on the table. Okay, hour and a half down. That's red finished on 9 of 40 models. Wonder what Luke's up to. For all of my dreams of optimized painting, I'm getting very caught up in how sexy these blends are, and the fabric is certainly taking me longer than I thought. At least this layer doesn't need any washes or further details down through the scheme, and with the blessings of the Emperor, it won't get hit by colors from other layers. Oh man, these models have so much detail, and we are 2.5 hours in, so I'm basically almost a quarter of the way through this first 12 hours, and I've done half of the models of step 1 of 8 steps. I need to pick up the pace a little bit. So what I've done is I've kind of redefined my process, my plan of attack. What I'm going to do is I've now got all of just the generic Vostroyan troops on these kind of blue tack little paint handles, and we're going to do all of the troops start to finish. That's going to be my goal for this first 12-hour block. That's going to leave the special weapons, the commands, and the heavy weapon teams to tomorrow's block. We'll smash through the rest of these reds, and then we can start getting some metallics down. And once we get the metallics down, the washes will come in and everything will start going a lot faster. It's just these first couple of phases that are massive, but we need to get moving. So, back to the reds, back to the wet palette. Let's smash out the rest of these troops. It's an amazing feeling seeing the first colours going down on these models after wanting to paint them up for so long, but this red sure is taking a while. Hey dude.
Hey dude, you alright? How are we getting on?
I have gotten step 1 finished on all of the first batch.
Step 1 is all the base colours down and you're going onto the wash, yeah?
No, step 1 is all of the red down.
Oh, right, okay.
And 4 more base colours to go. How are you travelling?
I've got all the red done.
Cool.
I've got all the blue done.
Okay.
I've got all the shoes done. And I've got all the guns done.
So you're a little bit ahead.
Yeah, just a little bit. But I've got the gold to do, I've got the belts to do, I've got the face to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to chuck an all-over wash on.
Well, my initial goal was to do this whole squad in the first 12 hours, which is, 24 of, like, the just troopers. No specials, no command, no kind of heavy or anything. So that's looking a little... That's worrying at the moment. We're a third of the way through, right? 4 hours in, and I've got the red done.
Yeah. But well, we'll see. Let's stop this talking. You're putting me off.
It's alright. Let's check in soon, dude.
Alright, catch you in a bit.
8 hours in and the second base coat goes down, and it's an important one as we reach for Leadbelcher from Citadel. The Vostroyan armor is very intricate with a combination of gold plate mail and silver chain, covered by a network of strapping, pouches, and accessories. We're hitting the silver first as it's the foundation of the whole model and is much easier to slap on fast and messy, and then have more control with the layers that go down over the top. Alright, so we've just hit the 6-hour mark. We're now halfway through the first block and a quarter of the way through our total 24-hour period, and we've just finished the second base coat. There is still hope that we could get this chunk done in 12 hours, leaving us 12 for command and the heavy weapons, but it is slipping away. This gold layer is the key. So, let's dive back to the bench and smash through this gold. The ornate stylings of the Vostroyans continue from their armour to their weapons, which feature a stunning combination of wooden panelling and gold trim or inlay. So as I moved into the next big metallic layer, I realised I'd actually save some time if I threw down the wood tones first and then cleaned up with the gold pass second. I threw down a base coat of charred brown and then went back to some simple wet blending to save a bit of time and get some subtle highlights. I used some dark flesh tone in thin lines to begin the foundation of the wood grain, and this is going to get emphasised much more later on in the final detail pass, if I get there, that is. Then it's on to the gold, an absolute monster of a layer. There is gold everywhere on these models. Gold plate mail, gold trim on the guns, and a whole heap of gold detailing aquila and insignia on the fur hats, the red cloth, the canteens, and the boots. For now, I'm just hitting the broader areas, and I'll touch up the very finest details over the other layers like the boots once those layers have their own base coats down. 4 hours of this first 12-hour block, and you're up to highlights. I'm up to base coat 3. And as soon as I started doing my gold, I realised that I can't do the gold until I've done the brown. So I'm sort of doing them at the same time, which is terrible for batch painting, but it's the only way to keep it sane in my brain. And you're doing final highlights.
Right, put the wash on, and then I've gone and had something to eat, and now I feel like absolute ass.
You're tanking. This is my chance. I can catch up. You're fading.
Yeah.
I reckon at the end of 24 hours, command and heavy weapons are still going to be primed. But we'll see if I can pick up the pace.
So what you're saying is I've done 30 models in 12 hours.
Yeah.
And you're saying in 24 hours you're going to be able to get, what, 24 done maybe?
Yeah.
So if I don't do anything in the next 12 hours, I've still won?
Probably. But mine will have more detail and less contrast paint. So I win the moral victory. So as the gold and brown keeps on going down, I'm really starting to feel it. It's been a long first block of painting, and I don't really feel like I have all that much to show for it. The Vostroyan models don't just have a lot of different colours in their scheme, but the models are so ornate that the layers aren't all broken up in easy blocks of colour. They're woven together like a tapestry, and it's really slowing me down. So that is the first 12 hours finished, and I am shattered. My hands are cramped like they haven't been cramped before. All of them now have that wood brown down, and half of them have that gold down. So I still need to base coat half of them. That's another 12 dudes with the gold metallics. I've done the recipe, I know how it all goes together, and once these massive base coating runs are done, shades go down, highlights go down, it speeds up like crazy, and I'm going to have amazing looking models very quickly. I've got to be up in 4 hours to meet with Luke. Morning, dude.
How do? You alright?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's another early start. How about you? You feeling it?
I came upstairs and I thought, you know what I'll do? I'll get my footage onto my computer and I'll do a bit of editing. Guess what?
What?
It corrupts.
You've lost it.
I've lost all the footage off my DSLR.
No way, that sucks!
So in the 12 hours, I will paint 5 more models and touch up little bits that I need to do, fix my video. In 24 hours, I've done 30 models, 35 models actually, save a video from catastrophic failure. What have you done?
I've got 24 guys, about half base coated. So now, let's just get this right for the viewers. So now for me to win, I'll need to finish all these 24, and then another 5, and then edit the video and upload it before you can.
No, you've got to paint 35.
Oh, 35, so I got to do another 9.
I'm going to paint 5 more on camera so I can save this goddamn video.
Alright, dude, well, good luck, let's get into it.
Let's get cracking.
It's a brand new day. The sun is shining and there's a feeling of hope in the air. I'm definitely not going to get to the command squads, but I should be able to do a killer job on these 24 guardsmen and then smash out a few heavy weapons teams to at least top Luke's model count. With a fierce morning session with paintbrush in hand, I'm finally shutting the lid on Retributor armor forever, until I need it for more details in about 3 layers time. So that is the gold base coat down, and now I just have one left, and that is the grey. So that is all of my weapon pouches, my boots, and my canteens. I'm going to go through every model of the same pose in a row so that I'm not hunting for all those little details. And as I finish this last base coat stage, I'm effectively locking off each model, saying, alright, that is ready for washes. Alright, these guys are coming together. Just one little base coat left and it's on to the primary washes. It's time to finally hit all the boots and pouches. These are a nice neutral dark grey to help give the scheme a little bit more contrast and make all the other elements pop. We really want these to melt into the background. As such, I've mixed up a blend of Abaddon Black and Vallejo Stonewall Grey in my palette, starting off with an even coat of 80% black. Then without changing the model, I bust out some wet blending again and do a quick edge highlight in about 55% black just to create that subtle definition. It's a simple scheme and it shouldn't take too long. I'm just hitting the boots, the canteens, and about 55 million ammo pouches that are in completely different places on every sculpt.
I'll finish my whiskey and I'll finish my extra 5. I'm going to bed.
You're going to bed? Is that 7 hours early?
Yeah.
I only got 7 hours. That can't be the time.
So what's your next step?
So next, I just got to finish the step I'm still in. So I got to, I'm putting down my greys and all the browns I forgot on the straps.
I'm just keeping you talking.
Hey, shut up! I gotta go. I'm hanging up.
See you in a bit.
Back to painting. 7 hours left and I'm still base coating. Not only are these pouches and shoes and canteens and all the other black and grey shit taking me way longer than I thought, I also realized I missed a bunch of gold plates in a few key areas. So I am breaking the #1 batch painting rule and I am whipping back and forth between different colors. I'm really starting to lose my mind here and the panic is setting in. So even though it's not the most efficient method, I've got every base coat back in my wet palette and I'm going model by model, putting down the last of the base coats and doing a final check on all of the colors. Now, with a quick glance at the right side of my desk, I can see how many models are ready to be washed, and over on the left side, how many are not. So just under 4 hours left and the base coats are finished. So for those counting at home, that is 20 hours of base coating. It's time to grab some Nuln Oil and some Agrax Earthshade and start putting down some washes. Oh, Nuln Oil, my sweet prince, how I have longed for thy embrace, and dear Agrax, grant thee thy gifts of talent and depth and subtle contrast. We have finally made it to the washes, and 2 of Games Workshop's heavyweights are coming in swinging. Up first, it's the pot of Liquid Shadows Nuln Oil. This is going down over all of the silver and grey layers. The lead belcher is now suddenly rich with recessed detail and sinking even deeper into the background of the scheme, just where we want it for now, and the greys have even more subtle depth of tone. Agrax Earthshade is then going all over the golds and the browns. This not only makes the incredible ornate detail of the gold armor readable to the eye, it filters the gold and wood tones with that sexy sepia goodness and blends them together into a cohesive layer block. So I have been painting for 23 hours and 15 minutes. I got through all of the base coating stages, and I've just put down all of the Agrax Earthshade and the Nuln Oil. I haven't done any highlights, I haven't done my skin tone, I haven't done the hat things. I'm a slow painter. Yeah, look, I picked models that are insanely difficult to speed paint because of the complexity of the colours and all the details, and also they're my dream army and they look perfect. I want them to look perfect, so speed painting this was always going to be a challenge. I have 45 minutes left. I've got to try and salvage something so that I can at least tell Luke that I completed 24 models. So I'm going to chuck a base coat down on the skin. Luckily, half the faces are done because they have face plates. So I'm going to chuck a base coat down on the skin, and then I am grabbing contrast paints, baby. I've got Black Templar, Basilicanum Grey, and Kygor Brown. I can throw down just like a bunch of quick contrast paints on the hats, and that's actually going to work really well anyway because they're so textured they'll work really perfectly with just a contrast coat. And then we can say that the whole model is painted and that they're finished perfectly fine to tabletop standard. I was trying to get them to display quality, but I will have to do all of the highlighting and basing at a later date. Let's crack open some Kislev flesh, let's smash down that flesh tone, then I'll put down the contrast paints, and if I get time, I'll give the flesh a wash with Reikland Flesh Shade, but I don't think that's happening. Let's get cracking. I just smashed the face base coats in like literally a minute and a half. Now it's onto the fur. We still have a chance. There's like 21 minutes left. We can do this. The key here is keeping it really neat. I do not have time for cleanups. Oh, that brown contrast goes down like a dream. I want these hats done by the time Luke rings at 7 PM. Black Templar going down. Don't know why I shut the lid. Not helpful. 15 minutes remaining. I've got 5 fur hats done. Oh my god, I've got a quarter of the way done. What am I doing talking about two tones and shit? Just put it down. Oh, damn it. Get off his face. What? 7 minutes? Oh no, I'm not gonna get them done. I've got like 14 left. It's like 30 seconds a hat. I've got like 5 minutes left and I've done 12. I've got to do like one every 30 seconds. This is a good one. I've almost finished this. This was quick. Pull it, done. That was nearly 30 seconds. Shit, 4 minutes to do 10. I've already lost 2. How'd I lose 2? That must have been longer than I thought it was. I'm falling significantly behind now. Victory's slipping away here, guys. And with 5 remaining, the phone goes off. Russia's down, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, dude.
Hey, man, you alright? So, in 24 hours, I fixed my video, I've started editing my video, and I've got 35 done. So I'm quite happy with my position.
Yes, well, it's quite an impressive record, I have to say. 24 hours of painting and a big 12-hour run today.
At least you know that you can sit down for that period of time and actually do it.
I don't think I'll be able to sit down for a week, and I might not be able to write for a week either. My hand is like pretty spasmed.
But yeah, so how have you done?
So 24 in the first 12 hours. That was the goal. Those 24, I finished putting the shades down on like an hour ago. So the steps that should have been after that were highlighting all the metallics, doing all of the cloak with a contrast and then a dry brush, doing the skin tones with base, shades, and highlights, and then all the fine details, so purity seals, little aquillas that I've missed around the place. Of their little beanies, I got 19 of 24 done before you rang, so I didn't even finish their beanies, so that you can still... My goal was, I was like, to save face, I cannot have any primed part of the model left when you call, and there's massive hats! This is like my dream army, and these are the dream models that I waited like 15 years to buy for the dream campaign, and I just could not paint them like display quality, or at least my attempt at what that is. And I think that was the kicker. That was the nail in the coffin. The thing is, I look at these models and I'm not like, oh, that works sloppy. So I'm not mad. I just got to sink another 6 days in, and they'll be where I want them to be. So yes, 5 beanies primed. You can still see prime on 5 of my 24 models, not including the other 15 or so that are primed completely, sitting on the desk behind me. So if you want to see how speed painting is actually done, head on over to Luke's video on Geek Gaming and see the master at work. And I will see you guys next time right here on Zorpazorp with hopefully maybe some finished Vostroyans. Who knows? Who knows?